Hi guys, welcome to ANIMEized. This is the English translated version of the novel Throne of Seal. The novel differs slightly from the Chinese animation or donghua. If you want more of these videos, please smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Enjoy and have a blessed day.
He glanced at Ye XiaoLei, who was still enveloped in orange light beside him, and suddenly recalled something he had said to his father. I want to become a guardian knight, because I want to protect all the people I want to protect. With that in mind, the solemn expression on Long HaoChen's face gradually eased. Come on, if it's going to happen, then let it all come. He began issuing commands, one after another, and the team quickly formed their formation. Cai Er sat in front of Ye XiaoLei, and both of them were protected by their companions in the center. McDowell the little pig seemed to have fallen asleep, and it was sleeping soundly. Long HaoChen stood at the very front, with Zhang Fangfang behind him, followed by Han Yu. The three knights stood in a row. Wang YuanYuan and Sima Xian stood on either side of Long HaoChen, while Cai Er quietly disappeared into the air. Lin Xin was at the rear, and by now, he had begun chanting incantations softly. Since it was a spell being cast, it definitely wasn't an offensive magic. With every step Ah Bao took, he left deep footprints in the hill, and his body was already stained with the blood of the demon beasts. But his eyes still displayed that same darkness and emptiness, as if all the killings before had nothing to do with him. As their companions began to show signs of fatigue, the purple-black gemstones could only sustain them for a limited time. Ah Bao willingly took on more responsibilities. However, his displayed strength became even more terrifying. His scales had already shown some damage. After all, he wasn't invulnerable. But his attacks had become even more fierce. When they reached halfway up the mountain, Ah Bao alone had killed enough demons to match the total of the others. The corpses of the demon beasts kept falling, thrown by him. His peculiar demonic sword had long been sheathed, in order to conserve his spiritual power. You see, although Ah Bao hadn't truly reached the 9th rank, his spiritual power within had exceeded 50,000. In this continuous consumption, he had already consumed more than half of it. Of course, this was because of their location in Dream Paradise, where Long HaoChen's group could receive double replenishment, while the demon clan couldn't get any replenishment, and could only rely on elixirs and skills to restore their spiritual power. Nevertheless, Ah Bao's conviction of victory remained unshaken, as he had already sacrificed 2 companions, who were the heirs of the Star Demon Clan and the Demon Clan. He was determined to succeed, as long as he could capture Ye XiaoLei and bring her back. Then, whether it was the Demon God Emperor or him, they would undoubtedly become the rulers of the continent in the future. Even, they were less than 50 meters from the mountaintop. The emptiness in Ah Bao's eyes gradually became resolute. In him, there was a quality, much like Long HaoChen's radiance. His quality was perseverance and unwavering determination. Once he set his sights on a target, he would wholeheartedly march towards it, never faltering, even if it meant going through bloodshed. An inept existence, even if he were the son of the demon god emperor, could never rule over the demon clan, inheriting the glory of the first pillar demon god. Just as they were getting closer, and it seemed they were about to reach the mountaintop, suddenly, a jet-black golden light burst forth. This jet-black golden light was massive, with a diameter of tens of kilometers. The moment it appeared, the once bright sky turned dark in an instant. As the enormous light pillar rose, the sun seemed to vanish as if it had been struck down. The entire hill was shrouded in this jet-black golden light, and even the entire dream paradise seemed to turn jet-black gold. This sudden change shocked both the demon beasts and the 8 demon clan elites. The demon beasts were simply shocked, but their attacks continued relentlessly. However, the 8 demon clan elites had their faces changed drastically. Even the resolute and steadfast Ah Bao, at this moment, couldn't help but take a few steps back, and showed signs of shock and uncertainty. The jet-black golden light pillar quickly connected heaven and earth. Everything around was darkness. Only the jet-black golden light emanating from it brought a glimmer of light to the world. Therefore, the changes on the jet-black golden light pillar appeared even more pronounced. It was truly massive, visible from a great distance. On the entire surface of the jet-black golden light pillar, countless mysterious runes were engraved. Most importantly, atop this colossal light pillar, lay a gigantic dragon entirely coated in jet-black gold. This was clearly the highest ruler of the demon clan, in the rank of the demon god emperor, the first pillar demon god. Your Majesty, it's your Majesty. The one speaking was the earth dragon-formed demon on Ah Bao's left, his eyes filled with fervor in an instant, and together with the demon on his right who had a strikingly similar appearance, they paid no heed to the demons approaching from both sides, and immediately prostrated themselves on the ground. Yes, for the demon clan, the demon god emperor was their totem. As long as the demon god emperor was present, who could harm them? What did these weak demon beasts amount to? Not only did they prostrate themselves, but also the 2 demon elites in the forms of giant bears and enraged lions flanking Ling Xiao in the rear. Only Ah Bao, Ling Xiao, Yu Yi, and the red-clothed sorceress had uncertain expressions in their eyes. When the 4 demon clan members prostrated themselves, It happened when even the demon beasts were in a state of shock, and it was precisely at that moment that the clear voice of Yiting resounded in the air, in the elven language, with just one simple command: attack. The attacks of the demon beasts erupted once again, and at this moment, due to the prostration of the 4 demon clan elites, the once well-organized formation was completely shattered. Boom! A terrifying demon beast, akin to a colossal elephant, suddenly lifted its massive front hooves, and mercilessly trampled upon the back of a demon clan elite in the form of an earth dragon. Even though this demon had incredibly strong spiritual power, he was already exhausted, and coupled with the shock and excitement of witnessing the first pillar demon god, he had no defense at all. The jarring sound of bones breaking filled the air, and the entire chest of the demon clan elite in the form of an earth dragon collapsed under the crushing weight. Although it is not humanoid, it still has vulnerabilities. Its internal organs have been crushed into a pulp at this moment. Even forbidden-level healing magic probably can't save him now. Incredible disbelief nearly bulged his eyes out of their sockets, and he still murmured in disbelief, saying, "And no, impossible, your Majesty, have you abandoned your subjects?" Another Earth Dragon form elite was slightly better off, because Ah Bao, who reacted in time, saved him. "That's not your Majesty, Demon God Emperor, that's an illusion. Get up and fight." Unfortunately, his voice was a bit late, and although the rescue action was timely, there were simply too many demon beasts around. Another Earth Dragon form elite had one arm and one leg crushed underfoot, and his chest and head also suffered heavy blows. Although he was forcibly saved and brought to Ah Bao's side, he immediately fell into a coma from severe injuries. The demon clan members behind were relatively lucky, and Ling Xiao and Yu Yi reacted quickly. Yu Yi cast a defensive magic on the giant bear. It's not that she didn't want to save the enraged lion demon, it's just that lion people's defenses couldn't compare to bear people's, so saving him might not have been effective. The result was clear: the lion demon was torn to shreds by the demon beasts, and the giant bear was saved, but it had a paw bitten off. Under the frenzied counterattacks of Ling Xiao, they barely managed to stabilize their position. All these changes happened so quickly that even the 8 demon clan members, including Ah Bao, the son of the demon god emperor, couldn't react immediately. At the mountaintop, Zhang Fangfang was dumbfounded by what he saw when the dark golden light pillar appeared. He was completely shocked, let alone the demons below. However, the dark golden light pillar was rapidly fading by now. Demon god emperor? There was no trace of him. McDull, the little pig, with a tired expression, snuggled into Cai Er's arms and fell asleep immediately. That's right, this was Long HaoChen's plan, to have McDull simulate the appearance of the demon god emperor, disrupting the minds of the 8 demon clan elites. The final result even exceeded Long HaoChen's expectations. In fact, McDull's simulation could be considered a failure, even though it was just a simulation, because simulating the appearance of the terrifying demon god pillar when the demon god emperor appeared was extremely challenging. It consumed 3 level 7 demon crystals just to create a rough simulation, and it only lasted for about 10 seconds in total. You see, McDull's simulation could only mimic the appearance, but it couldn't replicate the aura and pressure, at least not with its current level of cultivation. Even so, it still consumed a significant amount of energy. Despite that, the demon clan elites were still fooled, because the status of the demon god emperor in the demon clan was extremely revered. 2 dead, 2 injured, and one of them was in a coma from severe injuries, while the other had lost an arm. Such a blow was devastating for the entire demon clan team led by Ah Bao. Their solid footsteps, which were advancing steadily, were almost instantly halted. They could no longer advance even a fraction of an inch. What's more, the increasingly fierce attacks of the demon beasts had made them unable to resist. Long HaoChen's eyes remained firmly fixed on Ah Bao, and he didn't relax because of the suddenly improved situation. As they say, a trapped animal will still fight back, let alone the demon prince? Ah Bao's originally vacant eyes suddenly became incredibly deep. And the demon clan members who knew him understood that his anger had reached its peak. Simulating the appearance when demon god emperor appeared, for the demon clan, this was a great humiliation, and furthermore, the losses among the demon clan were something Ah Bao couldn't afford. The purple-black longsword appeared once again, but this time, it appeared directly in Ah Bao's hand. His other hand was still holding his severely injured and unconscious comrade, but his murderous intent had risen to an unprecedented level. With each attack, he reached a level close to nearly 10,000 in inner spiritual power, and his external spiritual power erupted in full, to the point where you could faintly see that the scales on his body were constantly radiating light. It can be said that Ah Bao, with his own strength alone, withstood the attacks of the vast majority of demon beasts. It was at this moment, he suddenly let out a long and powerful dragon roar towards the sky, and his originally tall and slender body suddenly began to change rapidly. The long dragon roar shook the entire battlefield, and with that loud dragon roar, a deep purple aura suddenly spread out from Ah Bao, coercing all the surrounding demon beasts to stop their attacks, and even causing them to briefly retreat in fear. Taking advantage of this opportunity, The remaining 5 members of the demon clan who still had fighting strength quickly gathered together. Another dragon roar followed, and just as Ah Bao erupted, she also unleashed her power. A rich purple-black aura spread out from their bodies, and at this moment, you could see the difference in their cultivation levels. The purple-black aura emanating from Ah Bao was clearly much stronger than Ling Zhao's. The purple-black longsword floated up from Ah Bao's hand. As his upper body descended, his entire body rapidly expanded, his scales grew larger and thicker, and his already formidable aura became even more condensed. Although his inner spiritual power fluctuations didn't seem to increase much, it gave off a much stronger sense of danger. Massive wings spread out from his back, and he landed on all 4s, presenting a majestic and sinister appearance on the mountainside. A powerful dragon roar echoed into the sky, and Ah Bao's body expanded once again, his total length now exceeding 10 meters. Ye slightly lowered her head, and no one noticed a trace of disdain in her eyes, in her heart. No matter how powerful Ah Bao was, and no matter how high his status was in the demon clan, he still had the existence of a monstrous demon dragon within him, which meant that he was the true him now. Moreover, Yi viewed herself more as a human. The true form of the moon demon race was almost identical to humans. Especially for her, who had human blood in her veins, she held a certain degree of disgust towards the majority of demons. When Ah Bao ordered the star demon clan heir to use the great prophecy, Yi felt a chill in her heart. Her feeling at that time was, if one day Ah Bao were in mortal danger, would he also abandon her as his wife? For the demon clan, such a thing was quite possible. But what if I were that person's wife? What would he do? A woman's thoughts are always different from a man's, and in this tense battlefield, Yi found herself lost in such thoughts, and this idea was growing rapidly in her heart like mushrooms after rain, to the point that when she looked up again at someone on the mountaintop, her gaze became much more fervent. The changes on the mountainside happened rapidly. Compared to the surrounding monsters, the 10-meter-long monstrous demon dragon might not have a significant size advantage, but its true strength was far beyond these typical 7th and 8th level monsters. Especially with the final boost Ye XiaoLei had given them quickly fading away. With a skyward dragon roar, Ah Bao's previously purple-black longsword suddenly descended from the sky, landing directly on his forehead, transforming into a purple-black horn about a meter long. His dragon mouth opened wide, and a breath of purple-black surged out toward the front. In a thunderous explosion, a violent roar erupted ahead, sending at least 3 massive monsters flying forcibly. Their bodies in the air rapidly disintegrated, dissolving in an instant. After exhaling this breath, you could vaguely see a layer of purple-black flames burning on Ah Bao's horn on his forehead. His wings on his back suddenly spread wide, pressing against the mountainside as he rushed towards the mountaintop. Just before leaping, he glanced back at Yi, nodding to her. Yi naturally understood his meaning, and with a quick thought, she shouted, "Be careful." Hearing this word, Ah Bao felt appreciative, grateful for the concern from his beloved woman. Even though he was surrounded by enemies, his fighting spirit soared higher. However, this word held a different meaning for Long HaoChen, as Ah Bao, who had his back to Yi, didn't see her, and when she shouted, her gaze was clearly fixed on Long HaoChen. Ah Bao erupted, revealing his true form, and his strength skyrocketed once more, as if he had returned to his peak state before. Moreover, the power of his external spiritual energy reached its peak, while the total quantity might still be the same. His physical abilities were far beyond what he had in human form. When those blocking monsters collided with him, they were crushed into pieces directly, especially his horn on his forehead, which was incredibly destructive. Long HaoChen took a deep breath, took a slow step forward, and a dense golden light mist rose around his body. It was none other than gathering power, and not just him. The same light mist also appeared on Han Yu and Wang YuanYuan. The gathering power skill could be learned by any melee profession. For ordinary warriors and knights, they might find it somewhat underwhelming, but in Long HaoChen's hands, it was transformed into countless combat techniques. Shima Xian took a step back, as he didn't possess gathering power, but the power pill of light in his hand started to swirl rapidly. Lin Xin's incantation had been chanted continuously from before, and it was still ongoing. This indicated the difficulty of his incantation. And you could see clearly, beads of sweat had formed on his forehead, even though he had just reached the 6th rank. Chanting this spell remained exceptionally challenging. Cai Er was still nowhere to be seen, and Chen Er had also begun her incantation, holding a crystal ball in her hands, as she began to cast the Gate of Life spell. The 8 of them, each had their respective roles, but they were all utilizing their maximum abilities in battle, as they made their final effort to withstand the enemy's attacks. Zhang Fang's gaze became focused as well. He also possessed the gathering power skill, but he didn't use it. Instead, he stood quietly, gazing at Ah Bao, who was rushing toward the mountaintop, slaughtering monsters. The whole person seemed to enter a peculiar state. Dense golden light rapidly liquefied and spread all over his body, and you could clearly see that his left hand, gripping the shield, had quietly become transparent. Radiant body. This was the symbol of a 7th rank knight. Even though Zhang Fang's current strength hadn't reached the 7th rank, As a peak 6th rank knight, he relied on his control and manipulation of spiritual energy, managing to barely unleash the formidable abilities of a knight. Ah Bao was getting closer and closer. After reverting to his true form, no monster on the scene could stop his advance. Everyone knew the immense pressure he was under, but without a doubt, as long as he caught Ye XiaoLei, Long HaoChen and the others would still be at a significant disadvantage. In Ah Bao's purple-black dragon eyes, there was an endless coldness and anger. And the pressure he felt far exceeded what Long HaoChen experienced. Behind him, whether it was Yi or Ling Xiao, they were all indispensable to him. Moreover, with so many companions having fallen this time, if he couldn't bring Ye XiaoLei back, his prestige would undoubtedly be greatly affected. And his father would surely impose severe punishment. In this situation, Ah Bao had no other choice. He could only give his all in this fight, and he believed that he had the strength to do so. Did Long HaoChen and the other humans think they could stop him? That was absolutely impossible. At this moment, he didn't have revenge on his mind. His only target was Ye XiaoLei. Finally, he was less than 5 meters from the mountaintop, and the heavy, dark breath that filled it could already be heard in Long HaoChen's ears. When he lifted his head in that moment, he came into direct contact with Long HaoChen. Ah Bao saw the golden mist clearly, and of course, he knew what these humans were doing, but even so, what did it matter? They had come through such a difficult process. Could they fall short in this final moment of explosion? Boom! The purple-black flames burning on Ah Bao's forehead horn spread throughout his entire body in an instant, engulfing him entirely in flames. This was the innate ability of the Netherworld Dragon Clan, Netherworld. With this skill, he could unleash even more terrifying combat power in a short time, although the rules of Dream Paradise were suppressing him severely. However, in the instant these purple-black flames ignited, the air around his body distorted intensely. It temporarily nullified the constraints of the Dream Paradise rules on him. Of course, this time couldn't last too long, but for him, it was already enough. Terrifying purple-black radiance suddenly burst out in all directions, sending all the oncoming monsters flying. His wings spread open again, and he soared towards Long HaoChen above. At this moment, Long HaoChen had been waiting for a long time, and Yiting behind him, due to the rapid chanting of incantations, had a slightly hoarse voice. The golden light on Long HaoChen's body had become as powerful as his pair of spiritual wings. The Son of Light, he was truly the Son of Light. He held the hilt of Blue Rain, Light Lotus with both hands, took a step forward with his left foot, facing the charging Ah Bao. Gripping the sword with both hands, he swung it down. This sword strike, as if following the profoundest of principles, twisted light radiated around Long HaoChen's body, and he seemed to have entered a transcendent state. This sword strike appeared to lack any domineering aura, but it was as elusive as a gazelle's horn. However, just as he swung this sword, the surrounding light seemed to darken, as if all the light elements were absorbed by this one sword. At this moment, it seemed like only the radiance shining from him was golden. In the sky, there was a faint golden light that emanated from the sun, shining down on Long HaoChen, and on his own forehead, 9 purple patterns appeared, but they turned completely golden in an extremely short time. This was Long HaoChen's insightful sword, not just a full-powered strike, but also a complete understanding. In the face of tremendous pressure, at this moment, Long HaoChen seemed to have entered a special state. It was just a simple slash, but he seemed to transcend the rules of Dream Paradise as well. Puff! Blue Rain, Light Lotus collided with the horn on the forehead of the Netherworld Dragon Prince, Ah Bao, and the air seemed to freeze in an instant, causing all the attacks from both people and monsters around to pause for a moment. There was no radiance spreading out, but it was clear to see that the golden light on Long HaoChen's body and the purple-black flames burning on the Netherworld Dragon Prince, Ah Bao, actually extinguished at the same time. Even the radiance in their eyes dimmed in an instant. Not to mention the demons, even Long HaoChen's companions were stunned. None of them had expected that Long HaoChen could unleash a sword strike that would make Ah Bao extinguish as well. Buzz! A strange buzzing sound rang out simultaneously, coming from both Ah Bao's horn on his forehead and Long HaoChen's Blue Rain, Light Lotus. Countless blue and golden dots of light scattered from in front of Long HaoChen in the next moment, forming tiny specks of radiance in the air. On the other side, on Ah Bao's head, there came a clear cracking buzz. A crack spread instantly from the top to the base. Roar! As if suffering a fatal injury, Ah Bao suddenly erupted with a painful roar from his mouth, and his enormous body was thrown high into the air. And at that moment, Long HaoChen's companions' attacks arrived. First was Wang YuanYuan's Shield of Giant God. Transformed into a giant axe, Shield of Giant God struck Ah Bao with the terrifying power of a Jura strike. Deprived of the purple-black flame protection, Ah Bao's body was forcibly cut open, creating a massive wound. Next came Han Yu's long-charged Azure Thorn. Although Ah Bao tried to protect himself as much as possible, his left wing was still pierced by Azure Thorn. Right at this moment, the power pill of light roared out, and with a deafening blast, it struck Ah Bao hard, sending his 10-meter-long body flying backward. Shima Xian unleashed both Crush and Radiance Ripple to their fullest extent, accompanied by his priest attack skill. The area of Ah Bao's body struck by the attack had its scales shattered, and large chunks of flesh appeared. These were the full-powered gathering power attacks of 4 6th-level powerhouses, and after colliding with Long HaoChen, Ah Bao seemed to be in an extremely weakened state, to the point where even his defensive capabilities disappeared. That's when he was heavily injured and sent flying. However, it must be said, his willpower was incredibly astonishing, and his inner determination was unwavering. Even in the moment his body was sent flying, a purple-black crystal burst forth from his mouth, not to attack Long HaoChen, but to head straight for Ye XiaoLei behind him. In that moment of being sent flying, Ah Bao felt that he might be facing failure, but he was unwilling to accept it. And he was determined that no one else would get what he couldn't have. Nobody should think they could obtain it. He intended to destroy her, to destroy. At that very moment, a pitch-black figure appeared silently above Ah Bao's body, and countless cold white lights mixed with a dark golden radiance fused together in an instant, fiercely plunging into the back of Ah Bao's neck, directly targeting the depths of his brain. Cai Er had finally appeared, concealed within the air. She appeared at Ah Bao's most vulnerable moment. This was the task that Long HaoChen had given her. Long HaoChen had told Cai Er, only when Ah Bao was pushed back could she launch her attack. This strike had been refined through countless trials. After breaking through to the 6th rank, Cai Er's 1000 Strikes Spirit Furnace evolved accordingly, advancing to the 2nd stage, and the 2nd stage 1000 Strikes Spirit Furnace can be described in 4 words. 1000 strikes become 1. With this strike, combined with Cai Er's dominating stab, her attack power had reached its peak. Among the 6 great temples, the Assassin Temple undoubtedly had the best understanding of the vulnerabilities of various demon races. The toughest part of the devil dragons was their heads, and to truly kill them, it was necessary to destroy their brains. Only by attacking from the back of the neck was there a possibility of damaging their brains. In the midst of his weakness, Ah Bao was suddenly struck at a vital point, letting out a miserable cry. And his enormous body suddenly unleashed an indescribable force, accompanied by a crisp shattering sound. A black token shattered into pieces in the air, followed by a surge of power that seemed to come from ancient times, violently sending Cai Er's body flying, and her dagger ultimately failed to penetrate Ah Bao's brain. On the other side, at the mountaintop, Cai Er's incantation had already been completed in the previous moment, and she had good luck, summoning a level 6 magical beast this time. This magical beast immediately charged towards the unavoidable path of the purple-black orb, but it only remained in that position for a moment, before turning into ashes and disappearing into the air. A blazing red light burst forth, landing directly on the ground. This blazing red light appeared extremely peculiar, as it turned out to be a humanoid energy form, and the moment it appeared, an indescribable majesty accompanied it. In his hand, he held only a massive shield, even larger than Wang YuanYuan's shield of giant god, a defensive stance, blocking. There was no thunderous noise, only a strange spiritual shockwave, and the next moment, that fiery red figure disappeared. This was the result of Lin Sin sparing no effort, consuming a precious elixir that only he could take to cast a 7th-level defensive magic, the Shield of the Fire God, a magical spell with a certain level of intelligence. However, it was still annihilated in the face of the purple-black orb. Nevertheless, the Shield of the Fire God was still renowned as the strongest defensive magic below the 8th rank in the fire element, but after the purple-black orb shattered it, its own radiance noticeably dimmed, and it no longer appeared as radiant. Wang YuanYuan was the closest to Ye XiaoLei, and without even thinking, she horizontally placed her shield of giant god in front of Ye XiaoLei. In reality, she had just unleashed all her abilities with gathering power, and she didn't have much spiritual power left to support her shield of giant god. At this moment, even the members of the Commander Level Number 21 Demon Hunting Squad couldn't assist her in defending. Since Long HaoChen had unleashed that sword strike, he stood still as if he had been immobilized by a petrification spell, and Shima Xian, Han Yu, Lin Sin, and Cai Er had all exhausted their abilities and couldn't provide any help.